Night was cold and silent in a small village surrounded by mountains. Snow slowly covered the empty streets, and the wind whispered through the trees like it was telling an old, forgotten story. In that quiet village lived a boy named Daniel. Daniel was not like other boys. While other children laughed, played games, and ran through the streets, Daniel often sat alone near the small railway station at the edge of the village. Every evening, he would sit on the same wooden bench and look at the railway tracks stretching far into the distance. People in the village always wondered why. Some said he liked watching trains. Some said he liked the quiet. But no one knew the real reason. Years ago, when Daniel was only 10 years old, he met a girl named Lily. Lily had just moved to the village with her grandmother. She had bright eyes, a warm smile, and a gentle voice that could make anyone feel calm. The first time Daniel met her was near the same railway station. He was sitting on the bench reading a book when Lily walked up to him and asked softly, "Why do you sit here every day?" Daniel looked up, surprised someone was talking to him. He shrugged and said, "I like the sound of trains." Lily smiled and sat beside him. "I like stories," she said. "Every train feels like a new story arriving." From that day on, they became best friends. Every evening, they met at the railway station. Daniel brought books, and Lily brought stories from her imagination. Sometimes they talked about their dreams, sometimes they just watched the sunset while trains passed by. Lily wanted to travel the world one day. Daniel wanted to become a writer. "Then you should write about the places I visit," Lily once said with a laugh. Daniel smiled. "Only if you promise to come back and tell me everything." Lily nodded. "I promise." But life doesn't always follow promises. One summer afternoon, Lily came to the railway station with tears in her eyes. "My grandmother is very sick," she said quietly. "We have to leave the village tomorrow." Daniel felt his heart sink. "Leave? Forever?" "I don't know," Lily whispered. They sat together on the bench in silence as the last train of the evening arrived. Before leaving, Lily took a small silver necklace from her pocket and placed it in Daniel's hand. "Keep this," she said, "and wait for me here someday. I will come back." Daniel looked at her with teary eyes. "I'll wait." The train doors closed, and Lily was gone. Days turned into months, months turned into years, but Daniel kept his promise. Every evening, he went to the railway station and sat on the same wooden bench. At first, people thought it was sweet. Later, they thought it was strange. "Why are you still waiting?" the station master once asked him. Daniel only smiled and said, "Because she promised." Years passed and Daniel grew older. The village changed. New houses were built, shops opened, and many people moved away. But the railway station remained the same, and so did the boy who waited. Daniel eventually became a writer. His stories became famous in many towns and cities. People loved reading them because they were full of emotion, hope, and quiet longing. But none of his stories ever revealed the real reason behind them. Every story he wrote was inspired by Lily. Even after 20 years, Daniel still visited the railway station. Every evening, every winter, every summer, waiting. One cold evening, when the sky was dark and snow began to fall, a train slowly arrived at the station. Very few passengers stepped out. Daniel was about to leave when he noticed a woman standing near the platform. She looked around the station as if searching for something, or someone. Her eyes finally stopped on the wooden bench and on the man sitting there. Slowly, she walked toward him. "Daniel?" He looked up. For a moment, time stopped. Those same bright eyes. That same gentle smile. "Lily?" Tears filled her eyes as she nodded. "I came back." Daniel couldn't speak. For 20 years he had imagined this moment, but now that it was real, words felt impossible. "I searched for you," Lily said softly, "but the village had changed. I thought maybe you had moved away." Daniel held the silver necklace he had carried for 2 decades. "I told you. I would wait." Lily sat beside him on the old wooden bench just like before. The train station was quiet again. But this time, Daniel was no longer waiting, because after 20 years, the promise had finally returned.